Death greets me like an old bastard friend as I stare at the mutilated body of Timothy Mikhailov, the man who was like a brother to me. The burned, disfigured version of what remains of him is lying before me on a slab in the morgue. On the two slabs next to him are the lifeless bodies of his wife Galina and Evan, their 3-year-old son. Death was kinder to them. The bullet to their heads would have taken them quicker. I can only pray to whoever will hear me that they felt very little pain, and it was quick. My gaze drifts to Evan's tiny body, and a mixture of rage and despair rakes through me as I stare at the bullet wound. He was a child, a baby, gone far, far too soon, gone from this world because of the evil that men do. I don't have a paternal bone in my body, but when I remember the day he took his first steps toward Timothy and called him Papa, I felt like a father then too. This is not the first child I've seen this happen to, and he's not the youngest I've seen either. The youngest death, murder, I've seen is still my baby brother. I can say with certainty that my soul died that day so long ago, from the moment I saw him, and a void of darkness filled that space inside me. But still, my heart beats with anguish when I see sadness like this. I've seen the cruel hand of death more times than I'd like in my life. Unfortunately, this is one of the worst, creating a numbness inside me I'm not sure I'll ever be able to shake. This thing is always the same when it takes people I care about, and there aren't many of those people left in this world. Timothy Mikhailov was one of those few. His wife and child were like an extension of him, and they felt like they were mine to protect too. Now all 3 have crossed over to the other side, and are no more. They're gone far, far away from me, to the place I've tried to avoid. The horrific scene before me reminds me that something human still resides in me, under the hard exterior of the man I am. Something that awakens my cold heart, as well as that sense of helplessness I hate. The feeling pushes me to recall the only other time I felt this destitute. The same taunting vibe hangs in the air. A tell that death came for retribution it felt it was owed. Maybe because every time death comes for me and I survive, it feels cheated, and I'm always robbing death of that satisfying finishing blow to end me. This time, death issued payback like a bitch, and it seems like it had help. There are ligature marks around Timothy's neck and angry bruises on his cheek. That already tells me more than one person did this to him. One person would never have been enough to take down a man like him. More people were involved, and because of the skill set I know this man has, I'm going to assume it had to be a group of fuckers. And they could only have gotten to him if they'd weakened him severely first. I wonder if they used his wife and child to do that. It's likely. The rest of his body tells me the story that my best friend was tortured before he was killed. The skin on his legs was burned off, and all that remains is the skeleton with burnt flesh fused to it. So all I see is burnt flesh right up to his stomach, and that's where the bullet wounds take over. There are several on his arms and shoulders. In my world, you only shoot a man in those parts of the body if you want them to live, so you can scare them into giving you information. The 3 bullets in his chest would have been the finishing blow. The one in the middle is to his heart. Why was Timothy tortured? What did he know? I saw him only 2 days ago. If there was anything that was going on, he would have told me. That's how close we were. Whatever happened to Timothy was planned. Planned well, and executed by people who had skills akin to his and mine. It would have been some kind of elaborate setup to tie up a man you wouldn't be able to beat. He was just like me, a vor in the Bratva, untouchable, formidable, and nearly invincible. We're both part of the Pakhan, Grigory Ivanov's group of elite enforcers he hand-selected to protect and serve the Yurkov Brotherhood.